man. Let's do this. Peace and blessings, man. I'm super grateful for everybody that's tuning in. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being present. It's been some time since we've been here, since we've been able to be live and be present with you guys. So that's why I wanted to make this topic. As you guys can see, why we've rebranded from doing credit repair to helping individuals in the multifamily real estate space. What is it that you're doing, CreditGotti? Why are you making the transition? You know, where is this coming from? Ultimately, I want to just give you guys, I believe that you guys deserve to get insight as to why it is that I'm not doing credit repair anymore. But ultimately, I want you guys to, at the same time, have an understanding that, yes, I'm not taking on any credit repair clients. And what that means is we're not doing for self. We don't have an automated system. My virtual assistants in the Philippines are no longer working on individuals in America's credit reports, simply because I feel that, yes, and it is great, and what kept me doing so is like, yo, I'm gonna help these people remove their debts, and then from there get the funding, get 10% of their funding, and from the funding now we're able to help them invest. But ultimately it just started bringing in a lot of the wrong type of energy. I'm real big on energy, and when something's just drawing in the wrong type of energy and vibe, is, you know, I just start to see things for what they are, and I understand that this isn't the type of crowd I'm looking to draw in and the type of people I'm looking to attract. So I wanted to shift the focus, and we've been putting the focus more towards accredited investors, individuals that already have businesses, individuals that already have cash flow coming in, individuals that already, you know, that have good problems, right? That have problems like, yo, I've got so much capital on hand that we've generated from our business, but I'm looking to deploy this capital so I'm not being taxed on it X amount, you know, or X percentage. I'm looking to put this capital that I have extra, you know, into an investment, an asset, into a vehicle. By a vehicle, I mean, like, you know, what is that vehicle that's going to get you from where you're at now to where you want to go? That vehicle being the asset, right? So, not an actual physical vehicle, but the vehicle being an analogy, and the vehicle being that object that you're gonna get into, and that's gonna take you guys ultimately to places like this. Let me show you guys where we're at right now. Ultimately, you know, we're in Peru right now, and this is why. You know, I've stepped away from credit repair really as I've started to see the world. Last year, you guys seen me go to the Philippines, which really shifted my mind a lot more, you know, probably than anything. And just being there, it showed me, and I got my hands and acquired my first piece of land and, you know, property that we're building on it. And that just showed me, yo, there's so much more. What we're building is so much bigger. Even then, real estate's always been the end goal in mind. But last year, as I acquired the land, and, you know, I'm like, yo, we can do this now. We can do this a lot bigger. You know, so that's why I've been putting together the pieces over the past year. And I was like, okay, let me finish out this year and really see, you know, just what this year has in store. Who, you know, how many more lives can we impact? And that's when we hit the mark of discharging over $1 million in debt. So I want y'all to drop billions in the chat box, you know, to go ahead and celebrate the billions of lives that are truly being empowered, enriched, and educated every single day, coming here onto this channel from our previous videos, for our future videos, for ultimately everything that we're doing. You know, so I'm still going to be here, yes, educating you guys with any questions you guys have on consumer law, on discharging any debt off your guys' consumer report. But I am going to be showing you guys how you yourself can do it all by yourself. I'm going to give you guys the tools. I'm going to give you guys the resources. I've got an AI that I created that can do all of that for you guys. So why would I go out and pay other individuals? Yes, the pay is a lot less than what I'm charging, you know, but ultimately it's just time. And the time that I'm having them delegate towards working on the credit repair company, we can be delegating that towards calling these brokers and finding more deals, building these relationships with more brokers and acquiring more deals, or ultimately being able to deploy the capital that we've got from our fund, which we've been raising capital with, which ultimately this is where I've shifted, is to the fund space. Because now in the fund space, right, I'm able to work with high net worth individuals. And what I mean by that is, growing up, I've laid out the groundwork literally since I've been, you know, born, but really like 7 years old, ever since I started playing sports. I've always, and even prior to this business stuff, what people know me for and as is sports. Y'all can look me up on the internet, on Google. Y'all let me know if y'all want to know in the comments. Y'all let me know. Give you guys my, what to look up, and you guys can find me. You guys can find my highlights. Y'all can watch me. Y'all can do that stuff. But I say that all to say I've been doing things on a high level prior to this business stuff. And so a lot of my best friends, a lot of my old teammates, a lot of, guys that I went against growing up head to head are Super Bowl champions now, are NBA champions now, are, not just in the league, but are champions, are premier, players that y'all watch and that you guys know of to this day. And I'm looking at this like, okay, my best friend, my brother plays for the Eagles. I'm around these guys. Last year we won the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, yo, why am I not capitalizing? Why am I focusing and putting focus towards helping these individuals that are in this state and that just the same, different individuals, but the same problems keep coming to me, and it's the same things, since 2021, 2022, 2023. All right, 2024 it's just got to be a little different. Yes, the income drastically shifted and changed, and we exponentially grew as we implemented really the operations with our virtual assistant agency, and that was a blessing. I see my, income grow tremendously, and that just goes to show the power of a team. That just goes to show the power of having those around you guys, helping you guys with ultimately what it is that you guys are looking to build. Because if you guys want to do anything great here in this lifetime, I'm going to tell you guys right now, and I'm going to be the first to let you guys know, you're not going to be able to do it alone, right? You're not. So if you got, an idea, a concept of you going out and doing something amazing that's never been done and doing it all on your own, right? That's where we got to shift the focus. We got to shift the focus towards who can I, collaborate with, who can I come together with, ultimately to help the masses, because I wouldn't be able to touch the lives in the Philippines if it weren't for my virtual assistants and them getting me connected with indigenous tribes in the Philippines. I wouldn't have been able to go out and be connected with manufacturers if it weren't for the connections that I had in Vietnam while I was out in Vietnam. I wouldn't be able to have gone out and do these things. And as I'm traveling these places, I'm like, yo, I've got all these international connections. What are some ways where I can help these international connections that I have that are amazing people ultimately be able to come together, create a community, make money together, and help the world together? Okay, not everybody's got credit. Not everybody's got credit. So now I'm limiting myself. If I'm focused on empowering, enriching, and educating 1 billion lives, and I'm only focusing on 40 million people in America, but even then, those 40 million people don't all have credit, because not every 40 million people in America is 18 years old. And even then, 40 million is such a small number compared to, the world. And so I seen that, y'all, and I'm like, yo, and people are asking me, and I'm grateful for my previous venture and business that I had back in 2019, which was a network marketing company, which showed me how one could build a global business. My mentor at the time, a legend in the industry, if not the best, the best, if not literally, probably but there's things where others will say otherwise because of certain things and, other things, but ultimately what he did, not many other people have done, can do, will ever do again. And he did it internationally. He was a white boy who went international with his things in his business, and that's why he blew up the way he blew up. It wasn't staying in America, and that's why I get out so much, is because the law of familiarity is real. If y'all want to do something great, you got to get out of your city, man. You got to get out of wherever it is that you're from, because people that know you growing up look at you the same way. They're always going to look at you the same way, and that ain't going to change. So if you want to blow up, if you want to do something amazing, if you want to do something unforgettable, if you want to do something that your family and their family and their family's family and their family's family will remember for generations to come, then y'all got to get out of your hometown. You got to get out of wherever it is that you guys are from. Bob Marley, he left Jamaica, went international with it, started traveling around the world and touring, came back to Jamaica. That's when he did the Africa tour, and that's when he united Africa, and that's when he united Jamaica as well. And ultimately, y'all, if y'all want to do anything great, you got to get the fuck up out of your hometown, out of your home, out of your mom's crib. You got to get uncomfortable. You've got to do things unordinarily. You got to do things, that you don't want to do, that make you uncomfortable, that make you think, that make you, start tapping into that creative imagination. But ultimately, that's why we got into the real estate space, because I'm like, yo, I've got all these global connections. What are some ways I can leverage them? All right, now that I've gotten these global connections, this has helped actually expand into, another thing that we have going on in, operation as well, and that's within the manufacturing space. So this is really the end all be all of what it is that we have within the enterprise. It's not just credit. It's honestly not even just real estate at all. Real estate is just the investment side of things. If you guys have a business, if you guys are looking to have employees, we've got virtual assistants. We've got a business in a box, essentially. So that's what I'm creating. And the reason why I'm talking so much, I'm going to be educating you guys so much on multifamily real estate, is simply because I believe that's the most lucrative, that's the most cash flowing asset that's out there. I don't believe that there's any other cash flowing asset out there that anybody with $0 can go out and get started with today, right now, no later. So if you guys have a great network, amazing. You guys yourself can start earning hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in the multifamily space. Yes, you may not have an SEC attorney yet. Yes, you may not have a team yet. Yes, you may not have the knowledge yet, but what you do have is you do have a mouthpiece, and you do have connections, and there's already deals, and there's already funds, and with these funds and with these deals, they've already got the SEC attorneys. All you've got to do is focus on capital raising. See, let me shift the focus now and even put this on me, and me getting started out in the business space and me getting uncomfortable. Okay, me stepping into the multifamily real estate space, I understand, I've got zero credibility in this space. So yes, Multifamily Locker Room, which is the name of our company. You guys could all go look it up at multifamilylockerroom.com. Multifamilylockerroom.com. Within there, I want you guys to understand that, it's around these professional athletes and these accredited investors. Damn, where was I going with this? But ultimately, it's open, for accredited investors and, these pro athletes. There was something I was getting at, though. As you're out here in Peru, man, you just get distracted. You see, oh shit, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. All these beautiful women, So that's where my train of thought went. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you guys. Plus we got, the ocean views. Small circle, it's a chosen few. All right, y'all, we got 4 people solid on here this whole time, and y'all haven't dropped a like. So let's take a quick pause, drop a like, and we're gonna continue with what we were talking about in terms of us making the transition from the credit space to ultimately, educating you guys and shifting. That's what I was talking about. Our enterprise, our business in a box is not just, consumer law education and business credit and getting you guys funding and not just helping you guys with investments, but ultimately just everything you guys need. It's all here under one roof. Once again, a business in a box. If you guys need manufacturers overseas, we've got manufacturers overseas. If you guys need manufacturers and if you guys need, if you guys are doing fix and flips and you guys are looking for some sinks and you guys are looking for some, this goes hand in hand as well too with the manufacturing and with the real estate, being able to do our own development, right? If you guys are in the development space, if you guys are in the property management space, reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's grow. All right, it's not about what you know, but it's about who you know. I always tell people, the best gift anybody can gift me is a connection with somebody of power, with somebody that's doing amazing things. I don't care about the money. There's somebody that's doing amazing things, somebody that's, of power. Power to me is not money. Power to me is, going out and being able to, shift lives all around the world. That's power. It doesn't take no money to do that. That's you being able to shift the way of, the youth. That's power. That's you being able to shift one's perspective, that's only thought of one thing completely as such their whole life, right? That's power. And so the power is all within. Each and every single one of us have it. We don't need to wait for anything externally. We don't need to wait for any money. We don't need to wait for any of that. It's all here. It's all now. And I challenge you guys, tap into it, and y'all will start to see that millionaire version, that billionaire version of you, it's already here. It's now. And that's what I've seen. And that's what I'm getting at is, I was holding myself back for way too long with my connections, with the information that I've got access to and can learn, even just myself. Well, why don't I go out and why don't I start educating people? Okay, this is what I was getting at. So us, just me stepping into the real estate space, I'm leveraging another fund. All I'm doing, as I told you guys, how you can get started with $0. Now, granted, me and my team, we're coming down with our own money in this deal as well. But keep this in mind: you guys yourself can come in as a capital raiser, even a part of our fund, working with another fund, because the difference between our fund and you just going directly to that fund is with our fund, we've got in and we've got connections with the CEO to where, we've got not only the payout and the percentage payout that their investors would get going in and investing with them, but there's also spillover that our investors are going to be receiving investing into our fund, where ultimately with our fund, we're investing into a larger fund. Now, granted, once again, not everybody has even the capital to set up a proper fund. Well, the proper fund is going to cost tens of thousands of dollars. I haven't seen an SEC attorney work with one anywhere less than $15,000. So it's going to cost you guys $15,000 to set up a proper fund. Well, me and my team, we already have a fund. It's called Multifamily Locker Room. I want you all to go to multifamilylockerroom.com and go check out our fund. From there, I want you guys to understand you guys can raise capital within our fund with us on our deals. We had a 154 unit in Mesa, Arizona. That one has already oversubscribed. So yes, we've already hit our goal of $13.7 million being raised. Yes, I said it, $13.7 million in literally a week was raised. So yes, we were oversubscribed with the first deal. Now, granted, we have another deal coming in here very soon that we're going to be closing in on in the next 2 weeks. With that being said, I want you guys to understand, all of you guys have the ability to not only, have equity in these deals by raising capital, but you guys can go out and help those around you guys also earn money and invest their money into a proven strategy, into a proven business, right? This business has paid out over $119 million to employees. They've got over 11,000 units within their portfolio under management, and they just once again literally oversubscribed for 154 unit out in Mesa, Arizona. This was our first raise, and we raised about 500,000, in that time. Our goal was 5 million. Now, we didn't plan on it being subscribed in, literally less than a week. But ultimately, there's going to be another deal. And ultimately, we're looking to raise $50 million with this fund that we've partnered with, before we ultimately go out on our own and start raising our own capital, doing our own deals, getting our own financing within our own team. So right now, our team is partnered up with another team, and that's already been doing it, that's got the track record, that's paid out over $119 million to investors, that's got over thousands of units under management. And now I'm able to have that credibility because it's not a me thing, it's a we thing, right? We've got thousands of units under management. Right? I'm partnered with them. We were just on a call as I'm flying out from Phoenix to Miami with the CEO of this company, with this fund. And so that's why we've shifted the focus, the conversations, the connections, they've been there, but it's the conversations now. And with the connections that I've had, I can now actually bring them something where they can benefit as well too. It doesn't matter if you're a 9-figure earner and you own a steel manufacturer. Shout out one of my guys out in Pennsylvania and all throughout the East Coast. He owns steel manufacturers, warehouses, right? And so, it doesn't mind that you're making hundreds of millions each year, right? I know your credit doesn't need to be fixed. I know you may not need business funding or personal funding. And if you did, you could just go to the bank and get that funding right away. You don't need me to help you, structure your credit reports and do those things. But what you do need is to be able to have investments that can, one, help you with taxes, that can, two, be generating cash flow, and you could be receiving a check on that every single month. 3, a proven strategy that's worked time in and time out. Even during the 2008 pandemic, residential real estate took a hit. During the real estate crisis, residential real estate took a hit. But commercial, specifically multifamily, wasn't affected. Yes, we weren't, exponentially hitting highs as we've seen since 2008, but we were still growing. We were still flowing. And that's because everybody, regardless of the economy, regardless of where we're at, regardless of if you're in the right market, if there's and that's going to come with jobs being in that market. I'm going to make tons of videos as to how to, select your market, But if you guys are in the right market and the right time, really just the right market, it's only a matter of time before that market does start taking off. But ultimately, even before that time or after that time, it's going to sustain and it's going to be cash flowing regardless because of the location. And so that's why we specifically within our fund focus on deals within Arizona. If y'all know anything about Arizona's real estate, y'all know. That's my backyard as well. Born and raised in Arizona, so I would love to do some deals with any of you guys that are also out in the Arizona area. Outside of that, we're also doing Texas, right? So Texas, y'all know, is huge with real estate. A lot of $1 million houses are built on the residential side, but we're focusing mainly on commercial and multifamily once again. And so with that being said, Texas is great as well. Specific markets like Austin is our favorite market. Austin, San Antonio, and Houston are 3. I also like Dallas as well. So those are 4 huge markets of ours that we really like. So if you guys find deals in these markets, let us know. We're here. We're here to help you guys. We're here to grow together. We're here to, do deals together. If you guys got deals, off-market deals, bring them our way. We've got the team. We've got the capital. We're always looking to deploy our capital. So we're always looking for deals within our fund. And so if it makes sense, I always say it makes dollars. If it makes sense, it makes dollars. Right? Enough sense will make some dollars. So y'all stay blessed. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to enjoy my little chia. I'm out here in Peru. So we got tatted again today. We tatted up the passport again, but I'm about to eat, get some good grub, and I will keep you guys updated, and I will be going live throughout this time here as well. So anything you guys need from me, you let me know. Other than that, stay blessed. Peace and love.